I'm joined this week by Jonathan because we're going to talk about DAC firmware. If you are an MSB owner, this video is for you. Please watch through it because we're going to talk about the fundamentals of how the firmware works, how to update it, and some new features that'll be coming to the MSB ecosystem. Before we get started on the firmware, we have a couple travel plans to mention. We just booked our flights to the Vienna High End show. For the first time in a long time, we're not actually going to have a showroom of our own. Instead, we'll be at a booth with a meeting room, and we'll be hanging out there to meet and greet people who'd like to stop by and chat. In the coming weeks, we'll have a way to schedule meetings to sit down one-on-one with Jonathan and I if you need to have a private discussion or talk about upcoming things here at MSB.
So next week I'll actually be traveling myself. I will be out of the office for 2 weeks. I will be going to India and hopefully meeting with a few potential new dealers and partners while I'm there.
Do you want to mention what you're looking for in a new dealer when you're finding partners for MSB?
Yeah, so when I'm going to meet a new dealer or a potential dealer, I like to see their current setup, how they present the brands, and more importantly, how do they deal with customer support and follow-up and after-sales service.
I think we can also mention it's really important to MSB that our partners actually care about sound, because as a company, it is at the center of our mission is to provide good sound. We are not a box mover company, but we're looking for partners who are passionate about the actual musical experience and providing that experience for our customers. So last week, we launched an all-new software platform for the network renderer. We're really excited by the response we've received online and some of the direct feedback from clients who have implemented it and compared it to their existing sources or to the performance of the renderer before this update. It marks a fundamental improvement in the DAC performance through the network renderer that we've never heard before.
So one of the new features we're working on is the ability to do a DAC firmware update natively from the renderer. So this way you don't need to go to the website, download a file, and get it on your server. You'll be able to go to msbtech.local, go to the Update tab, and select your DAC and simply hit Update. It will automatically download the file, play it through your DAC, and verify that it worked, with no moving of files or any management on your part. The updates will not be automatic updates to your DAC. Instead, you will actually have to go and initiate the update of your DAC. We don't want to change the firmware in your DAC without you knowing it.
But we are not there yet. So in the meantime, we're still going to have to do software updates the way we have been. And we have a lot of changes to our DAC firmware across the board. But I want Jonathan to share and talk about some of those changes on how it could affect the sonic performance of the DAC, but also how it affects the day-to-day use of our products.
So the important thing to note about firmware for our DACs is there's two sets of code. There's microcontroller code and DSP code. The DSP code is what's responsible for the digital filterings and the sound signature of the DAC. The microcode is what's responsible for the user interface, the input switching, reporting new data formats, and supporting new interfaces. They are two separate programs running on two separate chips. So when a microcontroller has an update, it is either to add a new feature like the Pro ASL input, the universal I2S input, or new features for the render like reporting if it's Rune or Cobuzz on the display. These are all updates that you will see when you do the update. When you do a DSP update, you visually won't see anything different. It will improve the sound quality or stability of sample rate switching.
So now let's talk about some of the changes we've made recently and why it's so important for users to do this update now. I know we have this new, more convenient way to do it in the future, but in the meantime, we're really going to be encouraging everyone to do this update, especially if you have older firmware in preparation for future changes.
So most of the changes to the code are not something you will actually see on a day-to-day basis. It's all really back-end work to increase the reliability and stability of the code. It will help with input switching, input detection, knob decoding, remote decoding, and everything else. I went through all of the DACs recently, and I did an in-depth analysis of all the code and kind of unified them all to make them all more stable and reliable.
And if you've used your product a lot, you actually might notice some of these changes because the responsiveness of controls like the volume knob are faster than ever. And you're going to have more reliable remote detection for changes in volume or input selection that will make things smoother on a day-to-day basis. This code is also going to help support the new network renderer changes. We're putting a lot of investment in the network renderer platform, so it's really important for the DAC firmware to be able to understand what the network renderer is looking for and communicate directly with it for future updates for MSB products.
So we've been talking about the new renderer a lot, but even if you don't have the network renderer, I still highly recommend you update your DAC to the latest code. So it is still worth the time to check to see your current firmware version and to update it. Because all the products have had small changes done, from the discrete DAC having the sample rate getting reported correctly to the select DAC getting the knob decoding, and the ProISL interface has also been updated and reworked. And especially if you have the digital director in your system, I would highly recommend you update both of them as soon as possible.
All right, so let's take a look at this select DAC and give you guys a quick refresh on how MSB updates work, and then provide the resources for you to update your own DAC at home. So to start, let's go into the menu by clicking the menu button and scrolling down to see the current firmware. So Jonathan, what are we looking at here for the firmware number?
So for the select DAC, there's actually two sets of firmware. There's the firmware of the DAC and the firmware of the digital director. So right here, it says Director Software. This is Digital Director version 20.11. This is brand new code as of last week. If you go down one, you will see DAC software. It says DAC 39.21. What these numbers are is the first number is the micro revision. So this is micro revision 20 or 2.0 and DSP revision 11. Prior to the update last week, this used to be reported as 3.9.2.1, and that was getting very cumbersome. So all of our products, we will now unify the reporting as the first number is the micro version, the second number is the DSP version.
All right, so now let's go over a quick refresher on how we apply software updates to our DACs.
Yes, so our DACs do not update by needing to do anything complex. If you have the ability to play a music file through the DAC bit perfect, the DAC will update. Our code updates are unique in the fact that the new code for both the DSP and the micro is actually embedded in the audio stream. So when you download an update from our website, you're actually downloading a FLAC music file. So you download the file onto your computer. You then need to get this file from your computer and you need to play it through the DAC. Once the DAC sees this music file, it actually monitors it. It detects that it's a code update file and it'll report to you when it's updating. So the first tone, you'll see DSP update on the display. The second tone, you'll see micro update and the DAC restarts. That's how you know the update works.
So a couple pointers on that is when this update is being played, we don't want to risk the power turning off. So if it's taking an extra long time for the update to come through, do not cycle the power on and off to reset the DAC. Wait for it to play through the file completely and resume playback after that.
One important thing to note, if you have the digital director, in order to update the firmware in the DAC, you need to go into the menu and you need to go and turn off the digital director. Right now it's set to filter. You need to set this to pass through. Otherwise, the DAC update will not work.
As the code update enters the director, it'll get processed for the DAC modules in the director. So when the code arrives at the DAC itself, the DAC is not going to detect that it's a software update because it's been so heavily modified. So this is only for products with a digital director. Now, is this also the case for the Cascade DAC?
No, it is not. The Cascade DAC, since the director is the DAC, it's detected automatically, so there's nothing you need to do to update it. You just play the file bit perfect.
Okay, now that you've watched this video, we have resources linked down below and on our support pages for how to do these updates. We have videos outlining the specific how-tos that will give you a very reliable and clear method for doing the update. Please check out those pages or watch the video before you start so you can ensure you have a smooth update process. We'll keep posting updates here on the YouTube channel, so please like and subscribe so you can see future updates as they come out.
If you have any issues updating your firmware, please reach out to us either on our forum, our webpage, or support page.
With that, take care and we'll catch you in the next video.